Okay, question 13, all about cell phones. And if we look here, we've been given a familiar table here of summary statistics. We've been given the minimum number of cell phones sold out of 99 models, the minimum price and performance for 99 models of cell phones. And they're giving the summary for the prices here. So the minimum is 0. The Q1 is also 0. So if we think about that, the lowest 25% or the lower 25% of phone prices are all $0. And why would that be? You know, a lot of a lot of companies give away free phones for their plans. The median price for a phone is $50, but the third quartile goes up to 200, and the maximum value is $400 for a phone. Mid-range, we don't usually talk about that using those words. The mid-range is the same thing as the IQR. So I have not seen that in a while, so I'm just going to put in IQR. Remember, IQR is the distance between Q1 and Q3, Q3 minus Q1. The mean is 96.3. The trimmed mean, this is also something we don't worry about too much. The trim mean is what we get when we cut off the highest and the lowest value, in case there's any. It's one way of protecting against outliers. And then the standard deviation is 107.23. So the question, and I know this is going to be on the test every year. I don't know if it'll be on your mini version, but this question on outliers usually shows up somewhere. Hopefully it'll show up for you. So when we calculate outliers, remember we just need that little formula. We need to check if the max or the min fall outside the fence, right? So to get our fence, we first need, we're going to calculate the upper fence is going to be Q3 plus 1.5 times the Q1. For the upper fence, it's going to be Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. And the lower fence is going to be Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. It's just something you have to memorize. Q3 in this case is 200, and our IQR, if we multiply times 1.5, it's 1.5 times 200. So if we multiply there, it's 200 plus 300, which gives us a upper value here of 500. And our upper fence is well outside the max, which tells us that there's no upper outlier. If we do the same thing for the lower, we're going to take our Q1, which is 0, minus 1.5 times 200. And that's going to give us negative 300. And you can see that's way below the min, so there's no lower outlier. And so you have to show that justification, and you'd have to say there's no upper or lower outliers. They're asking you, if the manufacturers advertise a cell phone priced at only $31.95, would you consider that to be a very low price, and explain? Well, if we look here at our data, 25% of the phones are free. So a value, and if we're thinking about these in normally distributed, 25% is a pretty large number, right? So 25% of the phones are basically $0, right? And our phone is $31, right? So $31 is well past the first quartile. So we would probably say, since 25% of all phones are $0, the price of $31.95 is not unusually. And you know, this idea of unusual is usually below 5%, right? So we're looking at something, we really don't know if this is normally distributed, but we do know that something above 25% is definitely not unusual, okay? So that's how I would answer that question. All right, moving on.